Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and this is the third time I've tried to record this video. This is me taking a look at Teslagrad. Oh boy, so Teslagrad has actually been well known about for about a year, except they had to push the port back several times because optimization was a bit of a pain in the ass apparently. But oh well, we'll just go have a look around anyway. So, we got 4 different volume sliders here, well more like 3 and then a global one, which isn't that bad. Although, oh, it's just ambience and effects. There is no sound in terms of like character dialogue or anything in this game, which is actually quite nice. And we've also got controls, and we can actually remap the controls to whatever we like. Me personally, I'm leaving them on defaults because the defaults are actually fine, but if you want to swap 2 buttons around for whatever reason, there you go. So we're going to load into my game, and thank God, mainly because this is the third time I've had to record this because this goddamn bird boss has been giving me a lot of trouble, but nevertheless, we will load into Teslagrad. Thank God it actually loaded properly. If my save corrupted or something, I would have killed someone. But anyway, we now apparently have a cloak. And this cloak lets us change what color we are. Wonderful. So I now have officially pretty much every set of abilities there are in the game. So we can just go and have a look around, shall we? So, Teslagrad is a puzzle platformer with a couple of Metroidvania elements. I'm trying to think of a similar game, but nothing's really coming to mind. So, the idea is thus. We have several abilities, and they're all based around the idea of magnetism. And in magnetism in the sense that if red and blue are basically your north and south poles, right? So, if you go blue and you go into something that's blue related, you'll get thrown away. If you go to something red with something blue related, you'll get pulled closer. So the idea is that you need to manipulate your powers. I really should keep that on the entire time, shouldn't I? Alright, let's just hold L and then just, like, go for it. There we go. So, as I was saying, you have all these weird and wacky abilities to play around with. And what do? Well, you also have that little warp ability that I showed off there. Made it. There we go. And these abilities are all designed to help you get through the puzzles, and you also have these scrolls to go around and find. They don't do anything for you. They're just, well, you know, collectibles. They're collectibles for solving the harder puzzles in the game, which, you know what, fair enough. Considering they don't have that many mechanics to work with, they'd have to make a lot of different puzzles around them in order to have clever things to do with them. So, they have a lot of puzzles, and most of them are indeed quite clever. Like, I am enjoying playing through most of these puzzles a lot. They are actually quite good puzzles, and you have a lot of things that you can do, because you have the ability to modify a specific object's colors with these punches, and you also have the ability to, you know, again, attach yourself with magnets, so you can do all sorts of cool stuff, and of course the warp. And you wander around this big world doing the puzzles and learning more about the game's relatively minimalistic story. I actually haven't seen that much story yet. I'm about like an hour and a half to 2 hours in at this point. The most I've gotten is that our country has been invaded by a... what's the word I'm looking for? A sort of benevolent dictator a la the Soviet Union in the 70s, or is it might be the Germans? I don't know exactly what they're bringing reference to here. It's probably Soviet Union, but I'm not going to say for sure. And we ended up running into this castle with all these crazy things, and we have to try and find our way through using the abilities of the Tesla stuff. I don't know why they called it Teslagrad. They could have called it, like, Magnet. Well, then again, Teslagrad is actually a pretty memorable name, so I can understand why. Let's do this. God damn it. Many of the puzzles in this game are actually timing puzzles, and I'm not that big of a fan of timing puzzles, personally. Like, I can understand why... son of a bitch. I can understand why some people like them, but I'm personally not a fan of games that judge you on your reaction time when they're really just puzzles you're trying to go through. What the hell am I supposed to do here? Oh yeah, I forgot I can warp, because I'm a bloody idiot. So, if I turn this on, and I warp out here, Nope, I should have waited just a little bit longer. So yeah, a lot of the puzzles in this game are actually timing puzzles, and this includes the game's boss fights. There are 2 boss fights in the game that I'm aware of. There's... that's being said, god damn it, brain, work with me here. That being said, I've fought 2 of them. I fought this big box monster that you had to launch boxes into its, like, lights. I'm not entirely sure what that was about. And I also fought a big bird thing. And the big bird thing was a pain in the ass because it took me like 30-something minutes to get it right. And they are basically just big reaction reflexes, whatever. Oh dear. Oh dear indeed. I don't know what that was about. Oh, it's a big ball, so it opened the... Whoops. Alright, let's give that another shot. So, they're just big reaction time tests, and it's kind of annoying, mainly because the game's puzzle element is really well crafted, but the controls aren't the best thing in the world. Sometimes it's really hard to... I screwed up this puzzle, but thankfully I can just leave the room and come back and everything will reset. So, the game's controls aren't 100% fantastic. They work like 95% of the time, but there are times where you might not be able to turn around properly or you just barely miss something that doesn't work. The game is actually quite generous with its platforming because you can actually grab onto ledges if you're close enough, but... are these magnetically relevant in any way? Am I just going to have to jump this? I'm probably just going to have to jump this, but... Damn it! I tried. Bloody slippery surfaces. But the controls are mostly fine. What's great, though, is the game's technical performance. Now, I went and read one of the blog posts they put up about this game, and the idea is that the reason why the optimization took so long was because they had problems... Well, why the release took so long, I apologize, is because the optimization was a bit of a pain, because they actually had to basically re-optimize everything in the game from scratch. Oh, I guess I have to go down there and get down in that hole before the boulder does. Just be quicker to kill myself, wouldn't it? So... Bloody hell. God damn it. This is me being shit games, alright. So yeah, as they had a lot of optimization stuff to do to get the port out, and thankfully the port actually came out really well. There are some performance issues from time to time, like, there are things that sometimes annoy in terms of the frame rate dropping during, what's the word I'm looking for? During the loading screens, and I have had them happen during, like, when the level is fading in, but when you're actually doing the platforming challenges, it works at a pretty solid frame rate. Can't tell you if it's 30 or 60, it's probably 30. I have a feeling I know what I need to do here. Because magnets. And the game's visual design is actually pretty damn great. Like, these sprites, the background designs, just the colorful effects used for the magnetism and everything, it all looks great on the Vita screen. It looks wonderful. They've done a really good job with making this game look great and run well at the same time. Can I jump on you? Yes. And he lets out these guys. There are all sorts of little things that they add to the game that keep it interesting and have all sorts of silly effects. Like that little bastard, that little robot that big robot just threw out can actually force me to go a specific type of magnetism if I touch it, and they do use that for puzzles early on. And again, these surfaces, and there are items that you can turn into specific colors by using your punches here, so you can do all sorts of silly little things. You can do all sorts of silly little things in order to, keep the game interesting. What the hell am I supposed to do here? I have no idea. I probably have to try and get one of those tiny little robots to safety and then get something to do with that done. Actually, yeah, that's probably exactly what I have to do. Hello. Alright, come on, little robot. Oh, I get it. So the little robots inhabit the big robots, and then the big robots need to... This is weird. I haven't seen a puzzle like this in the whole game. This is just a weird situation, but... Nevertheless, the game does have a pretty high variety of puzzles, even if it does have to resort to using, like, action puzzle tactics at times, which kind of annoys me. Where the hell is he going? Oh, okay. Shit! Right, I know what I'm doing now. And the puzzles are definitely entertaining. How the hell do I get up there? That's one of the scrolls that you need to get in order to move along. Alright, so you hop in the bot, and then we come over here and just hop on this switch. So there's a lot of different puzzles, and as I can't even remember if I showed this before, because this is my third goddamn take, but this is the map, and the map looks very similar to sort of Metroidvania-y style game, so you do wander around these big areas, getting all sorts of new equipment, using it to get puzzles solved, and it really is a nice, just standalone experience. Standalone. Why am I saying standalone? It's got nothing to do with that. It's still a really nice experience, though. And despite there being slight problems, like the boss fights could do to be a lot easier. I mean, Jesus bloody Christ. It took me so many tries to get past the, what was it? The bird boss, because the game doesn't have any checkpoints, which can get infuriating at times. Oh. Hi, bot. Oh wait, maybe I have to... Whoops. I just go off there so my job can be done faster. So, with all the different kinds of puzzles there are, and buggering, bollocking, backstabbing, bastard... Despite the fact that the game can be quite annoying with its action puzzle sequences and the boss fights can be a real pain, the game itself is still a ton of fun. The puzzles are engaging, and you do get, like, all sorts of silly ways to manipulate the game. And it is a hell of a lot of fun to play. And it runs great. And it's just overall really clever, and I quite like it. So, off you go there, and yes! Now, just find your way out of there, please. Come on. I know you can do it. Maybe if I stand on him. Come on. Come out of there. God damn it. Gonna have to start this again, aren't I? It is still a really fun time, and would I recommend it? Probably. I mean, obviously, it isn't gonna set the world on fire for people who don't like puzzle games, or puzzle platformer games, or action puzzle platformer games, because it is all three of those. But if you can deal with those, this is still a pretty cool experience. All the magnetic abilities run really well. The game's performance is great. There's a ton of things to go do and see, and I have to let that extend out so we can jump into that little road. Bastard! Alright, dead. I'll get this on this video, I promise. I don't know how much this is going to cost, but I imagine it could probably get away with selling... Bloody hell, I'm not a developer. I imagine it could get away with selling for $15, but... Again, it is one of those sorts of games where you need to just, take in mind whether or not you want to play it for that much money or not. Is it next week? Oh no, next week is 23rd. My dates are messed up, but it'd be nice as a PlayStation Plus giveaway, I must say, but still, it's a fine little puzzle platformer. It's engaging, it's entertaining, it's got some great design on it in terms of both puzzles and, like, visual acuity. Actually, to be fair, I should probably try and do this. There we go. Now I can just sit back and watch this. Because it's fun to watch the magnetic things interact with each other. Come on, little guy. Well, hey! There we go. Admittedly, the game has a way of making solving its puzzles viscerally, well, not viscerally, but intensely satisfying that most puzzle platformer games usually don't do for me. Those are on fire. Alright, I better avoid touching them. But yeah, the game's got this way of making solving its puzzles and its timing puzzles incredibly satisfying, even if they are a bit frustrating at times, and I do quite enjoy it. Despite it being a puzzle platformer, it's one of the only puzzle platformers I've enjoyed in a significant amount of time, despite the boss battles and the action parts of the game being a bit annoying, but nevertheless, it's quite lovely, and based purely on my arsing... I walked right into it. You walked right into it, Blue. God damn it. And despite my incredible incompetence with puzzle platformers that I usually have, the game itself is great. And if you even remotely like puzzle platformers, this is definitely one worth taking a very long look at. It'll be out next week, at least in the States. I'm not entirely sure about Europe, but... oh, well. Oh, my. I imagine there's a scroll up there that I should... oh, no, that's actually the way I'm meant to go. That's not good. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. There we go. What's over here? It's just another loading screen. But yeah, it's, if you even remotely like puzzle platformers, this is definitely something you should give a good long look. And if you're at the end of this bloody video of my bloody rambling over a puzzle platformer, because I absolutely suck at puzzle platformers, then you have given it a good long look, and you probably decided whether or not you want to take a look at it. What the hell is this? A gruesome death. I think I'll call the video to an end here, because I've been here long enough, but yeah. Teslagrad. Runs great, looks great, sounds great. Has a unique, well, not so much a unique, but an interesting, minimalistic story that doesn't really get in the way too much, and there's a lot of different ways they play with the puzzle platforming to make it interesting. That's pretty much the quadfecta, or whatever it is, of puzzle platformers being good. So yeah, it's a good puzzle platform. Pick it up if you like the look of it. This has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.